Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr, and you are listening to Fiber Talk, that twice-weekly podcast for needlework artists. We have this week two artists, Amy and Memory Baker. Amy, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and Memory?
Yes, good morning.
There we go. Now we can tell the difference in the voice. Excellent. And then do we have Myrtle, the bird, with us?
Myrtle is not here today. She'll be here tomorrow.
Well, then we're recording tomorrow because, I got questions for Myrtle, too.
I know. If people are actually asking about Myrtle. They come in, they're like, okay, can we see Myrtle?
Yeah, I watched one of your, I think it was your most recent YouTube where Myrtle got in the middle of Memory's back and fell asleep. And I thought, oh, that's pretty good.
Yes.
That's good. All right, so Amy and Memory Baker. Now, I don't know whether to chastise you guys or applaud you for opening a retail business in the middle of a pandemic. But you got a lot of guts. I will give you that. And, because I was thinking about this, needlework is hot. So what better time to start a business than right now? But then in a pandemic, when we were talking earlier, you said that tourist traffic is very strong there on the beach. So it sounds like you made the right call.
Yeah, we think so. It's been a dream of ours for a couple of years now. So, and what better time than now to do it? So
yeah, our plan was actually last year, and then of course when everything shut down, we pushed back another year. But we had a plan, we had a goal. It just kind of felt right, and we're big believers in karma. And if it's supposed to happen, it will happen. And everything just started falling into place, so we felt like that was the universe telling us now's the time, and we leaped. So we hope the net's coming.
Oh, we didn't leap, we jumped.
Yeah, it was a full metal there. So Now you did a soft opening July 30, so you're open now, and the business is Barefoot Needleart in Surfside Beach, South Carolina, is their shop. And Amy also does some design work, and we'll get to that too. But you opened a soft opening July 30, and then now your grand opening is September 18. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so you got a little warm up time built in here.
Right, and we just want to make sure we have enough inventory because it's hard to come by, especially floss. Of course, it's hard to get it in. So we just want to make sure our inventory is up to par before we open those doors for the celebration.
Yeah, good move there. Yep. Yeah. Of course, that's been the challenge for, sadly, almost 2 years now. Is just getting thread. Yep, just getting thread. Did you have an online business prior to opening the storefront? So you had at least something going, or did you?
The business started with just selling Amy's designs on an Etsy shop, and we did that for about 2 years. And then when we got to the point where we knew the shop was really going to be a possibility, we started ordering product of other designers and trying to beef up floss and things like that. So then we started selling that through our Etsy store, and we did that for a couple months before we had the lease signed. But for 2 or 3 years, almost 3 years, we just specifically sold Amy's designs on our Etsy shop.
You at least have some retail experience here and shipping and all those things, so that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
We got Myrtle for shipping.
Yes, head of shipping. Yes. Yeah, I've really enjoyed your floss tube videos. Yeah, the Myrtle component. Yes. Yeah. You guys still working full-time jobs, or have you given those up?
Yes, we both still work our full-time jobs from here because we both have worked from home since the pandemic, and so we're just going to continue working from the shop now, which is our home at the same time. So.
Oh, that's how you're pulling it off. Okay.
Yeah, we just take turns. We take turns. If she's super busy, it seems to have worked out. If she's super busy, then I take over the front, or more than not, I'm more busy than she is during the day, and she takes over the running of the shop, and I just pop in and out.
How cool is that? Now see, there's technology at play right there. So you can keep those full-time jobs, so you have the steady income while you get the Barefoot shop up and running. That's excellent. Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, eventually one of us may quit our jobs, to run it more full-time, but right now we kind of have to keep our job. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's always even in normal economic times, always the challenge for small businesses is, what do they say? You need to be capitalized for 2 years when you start out, so that you're assured of making it. So it's always that cash flow issue, and so to be able to do your jobs right there and keep those paychecks coming in while you're getting your business running, that's excellent. Well played. Yes.
We thought ahead a little bit.
Actual planning, yeah. All right, so take me through this whole process. So you're doing some Etsy stuff. Did you guys, sitting down over a beer, say, we ought to open a shop? Or did you start the Etsy thing and say, let's see if we can get this going because we'd really like to have a brick and mortar store?
So I've been like stitching all my life. I don't really remember a time when I didn't stitch. And when Amy and I met, I shyly told her I was a cross stitcher, and it just so happened she was a cross stitcher too. So it was like, oh, that's great. And then so we used to just stitch together and talk about how wonderful it would be to have a store one day and be able to do it for ourselves. But we lived in Rock Hill at the time, and we had the Stitch and Frame, which was, is a great store. So where we lived, it just didn't make sense. And just from there, when Amy started designing, and it just kind of started to grow into, we really could do this. We just have to move to a different area where there's a need for a shop. And it just kind of continued to evolve from there.
Well, that's kind of neat. So right out of the gate, then this was the point B.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. So then you moved to Surfside Beach because you wanted to be near the ocean, or did you map that out as a place where you would be away from other shops and be able to develop your own client base?
It was a little bit of both. Memory had always wanted to live by the beach. I had lived in the beach before because I used to live in Charleston, but she just wanted to make the beach her final place, right? So it was kind of like a twofold. So there was no shop here, and it was the beach, so it was like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and where you're located, according to the map, you can literally walk out the door and go a couple blocks and be in the water.
Yeah, we're probably, our home is probably about 6 blocks from the beach, and the shop is probably about 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very close to the beach.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to start a store. Got to find a place. It's got to be quite an ordeal just to identify a good spot, know that you're going to have a good building that you can stay in for a while. Do you look at growth potential, or do you say, let's get in a place and see how it goes and move if we have to get more room? Take me through that process.
That's pretty much what we did. So we drove all over like North Myrtle and Surfside and Myrtle Beach, and we finally decided on Surfside. Plus, it was a little bit closer to our house than some of the other areas. There was, between the building we're in now and one other building, this gave more visibility from the road, and so we figured it was a better location. We figured we would start off here, and if it got to the point where we needed to get a bigger space, then we can always expand in the plaza that we're in now, because there's more room for expansion. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but eventually we will, because like we don't have a place where people can sit and stitch and stuff like that, which is what we really wanted. But this was a perfect space for us, so we just went ahead and grabbed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You start with what you can work with and build up, because everybody would like to have stitching space. Not everybody can have it, so.
Right.
Yeah. So you have a fairly standard storefront.
It is. We're right between like a hair cutting place and a church, which is kind of nice because we're not open on Sundays, and so they can have the parking lot. And it's a big parking lot, actually, so there's plenty of room for parking and whatnot. So, but it is a storefront.
Got to work a deal with the haircut people,
I know, right?
I've already been over there.
Marketing, it's everything. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Making friends.
All right, so you're both cross stitchers. So then the plan is strictly a cross stitch shop, or do you see yourself expanding into other things? What's your view?
Well, we've talked about it. We've had a couple people ask us if we're going to carry anything for needlepoint, but our idea was, we know cross stitch, we do cross stitch. That's what we wanted to focus on. And it's like, for now, it's going to be strictly cross stitch, because as we start we still want to build more inventory for cross stitch. And if we start dabbling in other things, that takes away our resources from what we can provide for cross stitchers. There's already a great yarn place here in Myrtle Beach, so we wouldn't want to compete with that because they've been here for a long time. It's in the back of our mind as possibilities. Right now, what we're getting most requests for are classes. So we're looking to source some local people in the Myrtle Beach area that can offer some classes here.
That's good. Then that gives you that's your draw to get people in. And you have room there if you shift stands around to have classes?
Yes. We will have room, yeah. We're going to do like a monthly stitch-in too, like starting in November, because the retreat is coming here in October. So in November, we'll start doing like monthly stitch-ins, like once a month.
Oh, okay. Great. So you have activities. I guess that's really what I'm getting to. Activities beyond just selling thread and ground cloths. So that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to find our people. We've lived here about a year and a half now, and we're ready to find our people and make some solid friends and some stitching buddies and really put in our roots deep now, I guess.
The inventory part is what fascinates me, I guess, most about needlework stores, because it's got to be the most difficult aspect in terms of what lines of thread do we carry, what cloth do we carry, and of course you got all the scissors and needles and all that stuff that goes with it. But to me, it's that constant challenge of do we add another one? Do we have the shelf space for it? And then every time someone comes in, they'll want a color you don't have, and is that been a real challenge, or are you too early in the process to really have an experience?
Organization, it is the challenge of finding where to put everything and how we had a dream of how we wanted to display it and we had an idea of what we wanted it to look like. So Amy's very A-type, so she wanted to be very organized, very, things are in nice order and things, but we knew we had to carry all the basics, the weeks, the gas, then we've got Classic Colorworks, and of course all the DMC, which was fun with COVID because that was a bit of a challenge with the DMC. But yeah, then the biggest challenge actually for me was to buy things that aren't my aesthetic. So I like to stitch the way things certain. I'm not a big primitive stitcher. I'm not a big sampler stitcher. So the challenge more for me is buying things that I don't necessarily like, but I know are popular or I think other people might like. That's really been the biggest challenge for me I think I do more of the ordering and inventory and then really trying to pick through what designers people are asking us for, because we have had people coming in now asking us if we carry certain designers. And at this point, I'm just trying to create lists in my head of what people are asking me for. And where we are here, we're getting a large request for 14 count Aida, which is not anything I expected. So we've gone back to the drawing board a little bit with that of like, we need more Aida instead of, linen and even weave, which I didn't think that was going to be the case here.
Well, this is a retirement community because everybody comes from the north and retires in the south because of the weather. So I'm thinking that's the reason why 14 count's been so popular. So.
Well, that's that learning curve that intrigues me, because you can have your own plans, and obviously you're going to put stuff in the shop that you like, but you do. You have to think about the greater audience, and then you learn these things as you go along. That we have to have these lower thread counts because the customers' eyeballs aren't as good as they once were. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we're really lucky in is that we make a lot of our own stuff. We dye fabric, we make project bags. Amy makes needle minders and scissor charms, and so we make a lot of things. So we have that to kind of add to inventory. So if something, hey, we're a little bit low on scissor charms, we can make some.
Right.
So it's like, I think that's a good advantage to have. A lot of people have been real happy that we have project bags in the shop, because I'm not sure, I guess a lot of stores don't carry those maybe. But yeah, right now we're just getting that feel and the feedback from people that are coming in, what they're asking for, what designers they're really wanting us to carry, and then just trying to beef up on that inventory.
Yeah. lot of fun or a lot of stress laying out the store? Because it looks beautiful from the pictures, but the thought to me of standing there all day and hanging threads on hooks.
I actually lost sleep over the thread wall. It took us about 2 weeks to put the thread wall up.
Yeah, Memory doesn't know her alphabet, so.
Oh, that's a problem.
It comes in. Yeah, when it comes in, it's just all in Ziploc bags or boxes, and you have to alphabetize and sort. And so yeah, that wall took us about 2 solid weeks of hours upon hours upon hours. But still, again, it's what we love to do. So we haven't had any moments of, gosh, I don't want to go in today, or I mean, we love being here. We love it when the people come in, and we just talk stitching. I mean, it's so nice to see what other people bring in, what they're stitching, what they like. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Plus, I just feel like I'm ordering for myself. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get 1 of that and 2 of those and 3 of that. And then they come, and Amy laughs at me because I go through the stash like 3 or 4 times before I put it out. I'm still shopping in my own store.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, based on the pictures, well played, made me want to go shop there. Everything laid out really nice. It looks really great.
Well, when you do come here, we'll take you to go get ice cream.
Oh, yeah. I'll lead the way. Yeah. So that'll work. Yep. So yeah, and I wanted to talk at a little bit about your project bags, and because you guys really make some great stuff. Your needle minders, and all the pictures will be available for people. So I'll talk about the pictures, but the one of the project bags, boy. A whole bunch of beautiful ones. Which of you makes the project bags?
Well, Amy cuts the fabric for me, and then I do the rest of the process. But I don't trust my cutting skills, so she cuts them out for me, and then I do everything else. Looked
like you had a wide variety of them. They all the same size? Do you have different sizes? What do you put together there?
Right now, they're all the same size. They're the envelope style project bags, just because they're pretty easy to make. We can make a couple at a time. I don't profess to be a professional sewer, and we tried to source vinyl and things like that in the beginning, and zippers, and we just want to keep costs down and be able to offer it. So they'll hold a good Q snap.
11 by 11.
They'll hold an 11 by 11 Q snap, so they're pretty roomy. So yeah, we just kind of sourced some materials to make those, and we did have a great fabric shop here in town, but they went out of business.
Jeez.
So this month, we'll be. But yeah, I mean, we try to keep a variety of holiday, and just when we see things that go well together, we try to at least keep a couple of different things on the shelf at all times. It's almost a daily process of new bags that we're making.
Yeah. And I love the scissor fobs. Is that Amy's little project?
Yeah, it is.
Well, bravo, because they look great.
Thanks. There's actually a couple different versions I make, but the last version I made with the suede leather is probably one of my favorites. Yeah,
that's the one that caught my eye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are different. When she came up with that, she's like, look at this. I'm like, I've never seen one like that. Like, I really have not, and they're very cute.
Yeah. And then the needle minders.
Those are on mine too. A lot of it I use my Cricut for, believe it or not. And some of it, it's just things that just pop up in our heads. Just, hey, this will look good in a bottle cap.
Yeah, they're all bottle cap based.
They're all bottle caps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that was the part that caught my eye, because the bottle cap is such a neat shape for needle minders, and
right.
So you use the Cricut thing to.
You have to cut out some designs. If I can't locate, certain 3D stuff that I want to use on it, then I just create my own 3D images. And the nice thing about those is that, one of the magnets is on the inside, so you don't have to worry about losing that magnet, and then the other one's on the outside. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I'll be ordering up some thread drops. And are you're doing those all with the Cricut machine too?
That's with the Cricut machine also. I just created the last one, which is the pumpkins for the fall. But yeah, all of it, most of my stuff I do with the Cricut, which is kind of amazing because I just got introduced to the Cricut probably less than a year ago. So.
Yeah, I was in a Michael's, or I guess it was a Michael's with my wife. She was looking for artificial plant stuff to put in pots or something. I don't know what it was. So I was wandering around, and massive place for this Cricut stuff. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah,
And,
it's amazing.
Yeah, and she finally had to drag me out because I was locked into figuring out what all this does, and it looks like it's really versatile and produces some good product.
Yeah, it really does. Like our window decals that we have on our windows now, I did all those with the Cricut. Like
our t-shirts.
Our t-shirts I do with the Cricut.
Yeah, product. I mean, we use it almost every day.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that versatile.
Yeah, and vinyl, and I mean, it'll even cut fabric, but we haven't done that part
Yeah, I haven't
yet.
cut the fabric with it, but like even some of our finishes, we do our own finishes in-house. So for the most part, there's like one or two we had to get shipped out, but for the most part, I would say 90% of them are probably done in-house, and a lot of those are done with the Cricut also.
Interesting.
Like just cutting out like the mat board, it's easier to cut it so it's more straight, or even, I should say.
Yeah.
And
or cut it into shapes. We have one that we cut into the shape of a seashell.
Yeah.
For a Christmas ornament, and it's amazing. It's an amazing machine.
I'll have to dig in more. I'm not going to buy one though.
Yeah.
If I say to Marga, I'm gonna get.
I think they're like. Yeah, I think they're like $90 now on sale on the Cricut.com, FYI.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I thought they were really expensive. So then, all right. So you got this shop going, all the work that goes into that. Now you have customers coming in. Talk about your own personal stitching. Do you guys? I'm sure time is now getting to be at a premium. You still able to do your own personal stitching? What kinds of things do you guys enjoy?
Well, I would say during the week, we stitch like models for the shop because we like to have models up on the wall. And then on the weekends, we've dedicated to our own stitching. So I stitch a lot of HAEDs, Heaven and Earth design. So I love full coverage. I just love the way it looks when it's done. So that's what I do. And also we have to stitch for the Just Cross Stitch magazine because we're in there often also.
Oh, okay.
As a designer.
Okay, I'm bowing deeply to you. Anybody who does full coverage stuff, utmost respect. I'd never do it, but utmost respect. That takes some endurance.
Yeah, it takes years of your life.
we both stitch HAEDs. I'm pretty eclectic. I do a lot of Silver Creek samplers. I love that. I love Brenda Gervais. Amy stitches a lot of Barbara Anna. So but for the most part, Saturdays and Sundays when we have our own personal time, it's mostly HAEDs.
Oh, okay.
But for whatever else I just did my first ink circles. It took me way longer than I thought it was going to, but it's beautiful. So we just kind of look around and say, oh, this will be a good shop model, and we pull that out, and one of us works on it during the week at night. We stitch every night. We still stitch every night.
Okay, well that's pretty neat right there. That you both discovered you did cross stitch when you met, and then it sounds like it's your together entertainment too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
we'll take it everywhere with us. Like we're going to go on a cruise in a couple of weeks, so we'll take it with us on the cruise, or if we go to Florida to see my mom, or wherever, we'll just take it with us.
Mm-hmm.
Is the personal stitching staying at home, or is it going to migrate to the shop?
The personal stitching will stay at home. Right now, our walls are bare at home because everything came to the shop.
Okay.
So the personal stitching is just what we want things for our home. Like we're not carrying HAEDs in the shop, so as we're working on those, that'll stay at home. Or there's just some things. There's some things that I'll probably restitch because I want to have them in our house. And so there's things like that that'll come, but I can't stitch it all. I wish I could. It's finding that time.
Part of why I asked that is a lot of people, I'm sure, a lot of shop owners, by the end of the day of doing needlework all day, you go home and you just don't want anything to do with it. And then there's other people who the actual stitching is the release, so can't wait to get home and do it.
Yeah, that's what we actually canceled a trip to the beach the night before last so we could go home and stitch. I was like, I really want to start this piece, so we're going to just go home.
That's all right. Now, of course, the other question is, while you're stitching, is it just in silence? Is there music? Are there movies?
We usually listen to the TV. We're not really watching it per se, but we listen to it.
Okay. Well, most TV programs, that's all you really need. There's not a lot going on.
And, another reason why we stitch is nice because we still have our full-time jobs, and those can be stressful some days. And so it's just an outlet for us to just let everything else go and just concentrate on stitching.
So how did you both learn? What got you started? Grandma, mother?
My mother taught me when I was younger, and I've stitched off and on probably my whole life. Not consistently like Memory has, but off and on.
Yeah, my grandmother taught me when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and I've always stitched. I've always had something in the works.
Even through school, huh?
Yeah, even through, I never stopped. I used to do a lot of like dimensions kits, and in the 90s I was doing teddy bears and carousel horses with everybody else because that's what you had.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like I've always stitched.
That's really great. And you guys have always stuck to cross stitch?
Yes.
Yes.
Always been cross stitch.
You're really then kind of living out the dream here by getting to have a shop and control your inventory and not buy everything just for yourselves. Okay.
That's the
right.
challenge. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice too that if we run out of something, we know this really nice local shop that we can go to and pick it up.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yep. Load up. When it comes to HAEDs, what are the kinds of things that interest you? It's so warped because I'm really intrigued by that whole aspect of needlework, but I want nothing to do with it. But I just, when people show their projects, I just sit there and marvel at them. Do you guys go for like paintings, or what kinds of things do you try to stitch?
It's a little bit of everything, really.
The two that I'm working on right now, one's a mermaid and one's a lighthouse. So mine I tend to lean to those beach related ones, but the motivation for me is I want them on my wall in my house. So one is the lighthouse scene with the cottage, and then there's it's not a Kincaid, but it looks like a Kincaid. And the other one is a beautiful mermaid it's a mermaid head on the beach, and she's got these beautiful blues. And I think for me it was the color and that it was beachy. I tend to lean more toward the ones that are the beach scenes.
You go the full size ones, or do you go the smaller size?
I usually get the full size ones.
You've done a couple of minis.
I've done a couple of minis. I really, the story keeps are nice because they're very narrow and you get kind of, I say, into the meat of it really quickly. Then they go pretty fast, but it's still the same. You're still looking at 70 flosses and a really long piece of fabric. But yeah, I mean, I just sit down and I think we're more process stitchers than product stitchers, if you will. So it's just the process of just stitching, and over time, then you just hold it back and you're like, whoa, look at that. So yeah, I think that's what it is. If you're a process stitcher, I think a HAED is not as intimidating as if you want a product finished faster.
Yeah, yeah. You do the parking routine?
No.
I don't understand it.
I just don't think I can handle all those threads hanging. I mean, I will if like 1 or 2 threads, but the parking technique fascinates me. I'm just like, wow, I don't even know how you do it.
Yeah,
we're neat changers.
Yeah, it's like people who do parking is like people who make lace. How do you keep track of all that? I have no idea.
Right.
Yep.
Yes, it's amazing.
And those really good ones, boy, I mean, like they got 40 or 50 colors going at once. I
don't know how they keep up with it.
I don't either, but it sure works for them. And I mean,
it does.
You can see the efficiency. I mean, there's no doubt the efficiency is there, but wow, when you got to tie stuff together to keep it from getting in the way, that's a lot of thread.
Yes.
Yeah.
Myrtle would not like. Myrtle is already hard enough to stitch with. That would be a nightmare.
After the needle or after the thread or both?
She's after the needle. She's always after the needle.
She likes shiny.
Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Typical bird. Okay.
Yep.
So, Amy, talk about your design work.
Well, I have a background in graphic design, so that kind of played into when Memory said, hey, I need this, or do you think you can make this for me? So it kind of did that, and now it's just bursted into what it is now. We originally were doing just like the beach stuff because that's where we wanted to be in the end, was at the beach. But as you submit things to like just cross stitch and they don't take them, then it kind of just ends up in the shop, which is fine too, because we're still going to make some money on it. But yeah, aesthetic is everywhere, but mostly beach related.
Yeah. Something that you enjoy and want to get better at, or just occasional?
I've seen myself get better at it just in the past, 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I can look at my very first one compared to now, and there's like a huge difference. Just as I understand more about, the pattern and where things need to be and the different stitches and stuff like that. I was going to take a hiatus from it, but it seems to be that they are selling pretty well here because this is the only place you can get them. Besides everything cross stitch, they sell a lot of our stuff on there and a couple of other stores like Needlepoint and whatnot. But I think it's probably going to be something that I will continue on just because people are wanting them from here.
She's created a monster. Look out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always told her, I was like, when people can see the models, I think your stuff will really take off. And I think that's exactly what has happened. Yeah. I think people come in and we have a model for everything. Because when she makes a design, we don't put it up for sale until it's stitched. So we stitch it. We make sure we have a good picture of it, that there's no mistakes in the pattern. And I was like, when people see the models, I think they will sell. And that's exactly what has started to happen here. People are coming in, they're like, that's beautiful, and I've never seen it before, and they're selling. So I'm like, I think you might need to continue designing.
That's got to be a great feeling, Amy, to design
really
something
is.
And people come in and want it. Yeah.
It is. And I mean, even looking at our inventory as to what has sold since we've been open, more of the Barefoot designs have sold than anybody else's designs in the store.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, that's good for the ego. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it is. I'm not going to complain.
Where else do you get to shop with the designer? Come on.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. Well, it is. When you look at your project bags and scissor fobs and to be able to design things, that really gives you a nice niche as shop owners because you can offer something that no one else can offer. And with today's internet, people who dream of being at the beach and live in Ohio can at least get a look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, ladies, it sure has been great talking to you. And now this is Barefoot Needleart. It's in Surfside Beach, South Carolina. They're open now. And, of course, if you order online, they'll be able to help you out. Their website is all set up for that. And then it's September 18 is your grand opening 18th. Then.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And big party planned and
we're
sale.
Planning on it. Yeah, we're planning on it. We are trying to get some like patterns signed by designers and get those into the shop and do giveaways and stuff like that. So
yeah, we'll have some refreshments and just try to make a fun day of it for sure.
Excellent. Well, enjoyed talking with you and best of luck with your shop. And folks need to check you out, whether they're in South Carolina or surfing the web. Either way.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right. Thanks to everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.